Fast forward football on Campus Insiders. This is the time of year where there are no awards, no trophies to play for, but plenty of work to get done. To talk a little spring ball, we bring in our managing editor, Pete Fiutak, and our analyst, Anthony Herron. Pete, we're going to start with you. Give us three marquee players who have to have a great spring to take their game to the next level for 2013.
Because I refuse to go a segment during this entire spring without saying his name, I'm going to go with my guy. Each and every time we're going to talk about Zach Mettenberger because he is the guy in spring ball. LSU's got a lot of talent coming back. They obviously lost a lot of talent, but now they need Mettenberger to take his game to another level. LSU's been able to get really close to a national championship, but they have to get a big season out of him. This is the year he's got to show up. The other guy I'm looking at, Anthony Thomas at Oregon. He's been a fun toy to play with, one of those guys who'll get 1,000,000 yards per crack. Now he's got to be more of the main man, both as a runner and a receiver with Kenjon Barner gone. And the final guy I'm going to talk about, your guy, Devin Gardner. Yep. He's one of those guys who I think he could step up his game this spring. And you talk about Heisman guys who come from a little bit from out of the blue. He could go from good to amazing, and it's got to start with this spring ball.
When you look at Zach Mettenberger from last season, he's a guy who had a couple of games, especially the big games late in the year, where he did flash that skill set that everyone thought he had coming out of the junior college ranks. But Devin Gardner, I'm not sure he really fits what Michigan thinks he needs to be as a quarterback. Now that Brady Hoke and Al Borges, they want to be more of a pro-style offense. Is Devin Gardner that? I'm not sure. This spring is going to be a lot
And they got their guy in the recruiting class to do this, but Gardner has been great so far. With Mettenberger, you're right. People forget, if A.J. McCarron doesn't have that epic last little final drive when he starts balling afterwards, then Mettenberger would be the guy we were talking about. Wow, he's the guy who beat Alabama. Right. Johnny Manziel, I don't know if he wins the Heisman because that doesn't become a big deal the week afterwards. And Mettenberger becomes the really big deal this offseason. Again, he's got all the talent. You alluded to his skills. Now is where he's got to raise his game to another level.
And as a former player, you've been through the spring ball situation here. What position, if any, has an advantage or maybe gets more out of spring football than others?
Well, overall, it's the young players because you haven't had the reps on the practice field working closely with coaches, doing the techniques that you really need to work on. But as far as a position, it seems simplistic, but I'd have to say quarterback because you get to work on the mental part of the game. You get to spend that extra time in the film room, in the meeting rooms, doing homework with coaches, and just the physical aspect of playing quarterback, the precision you need with the mechanics in the pocket, or even if you're a spread option guy, the mechanics you have in handing that football off, making the read, pulling it out. The quarterback position has so many things associated with success on a team. I'd definitely say it was quarterback.
The common theme throughout spring ball everyone likes to talk about is you're not necessarily going to win a job in spring ball, but you can possibly lose it because now whatever you do during these 15 practices, the coaches are going to spend their entire summers looking at this tape and figuring out who can play, who can't, and their opinions are going to be formed going into summer. So this is where you kind of have to say, put yourself in the pecking order and maybe be one of those guys to be a starter in spring and summer ball.
A spring to watch for some players and also coaches. You can check out that other video here on Campus Insiders as well. Trading college basketball players. If it could be done, who would our experts send and where would they send them to? Check out that video only on CampusInsiders.com.